Hello BookTube, my name is Elizabeth and welcome to Book Babble. So today is Top 5 Wednesday, and if you did not know, Top 5 Wednesday was created by Ginger Reads Laney, and it is a Goodreads group, so if you would like to join, I will link that down below. Today's Top 5 Wednesday topic is Top 5 Books That Made You Think, so let's get started. Alright guys, I feel like books that make you think really could be a very extensive topic where you talk about major issues. So I'm going to try to shorten this video a bit and just say, the topic that the book made me think about and not really go into it. I'm going to try not to ramble like I am now, so let's just get started. Book number 5 on my list is Life of Pi, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I did not like this book. And I did finish reading it, I believe. I don't think I DNF'd it, but I read it way back, like last July. It feels like so long ago now. And I didn't like it, but it made me think about religion and God and the afterlife and things like that. I don't think a lot of people realize how religious this book is if you haven't read it, but it was pretty religious, and I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person, but I'm not religious. So even though I didn't like the book, it still did get me thinking about those topics. Book number 2 is Charlotte's Web by E.B. White, and I have read this book a dozen times. I read it when I was little, multiple times throughout my childhood. I read it with my mom mostly, and the most recent time that I read it, I actually finished it later last year, like October, November, and I read it with my little brother Daniel, and he is 8, and it is just an amazing book about friendship, and it really makes you think about the sacrifices that you make for your friends and how they're not really sacrifices because you do them out of love. And I just loved Charlotte's Web so much. When we got to the end of that book, I cried and my brother cried, and it was a whole big ordeal. But it really makes you think about how special good friends can be. Book number 3 is Burned by Ellen Hopkins, and this is a duology. This is the first book in a duology, Burned and then Smoke, and this is about a girl named Peyton, I don't remember how to pronounce her name, and she is in an extremely religious household, but her father is an alcoholic and he abuses her, and there are instances of teen pregnancy and sexual abuse and things like that in this series, and for someone who has dealt with alcoholism in her family and who has gone through sexual abuse and pregnancy and miscarriage, which is another thing that this book deals with. This book really made me reflect on the events that happened in my life, very similar to Patton and Patton's younger sister. The book focuses a lot on Patton's younger sister in the second book, and some of these themes happen to her, some of them happen to Patton. It just depends, but a lot of the themes in this book I have experienced as well, and I could really relate, and it really made me reflect and think back on what I went through versus what she went through and how we each dealt with that. This is a very impactful book for me in my life. I really enjoyed this book, if you guys haven't guessed. It may not sound like it, but I really enjoyed it, and it made me think a lot. Book number 2, and I kind of want to say right now that these books really are in order. I thought that they were, and then I'm just like, nah, they're not really in order. So with that said, book number 2 is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. And some of you right now are going, what? Because when I was thinking about this topic, and I'm looking at my shelves, and I was looking at Hunger Games and Mockingjay, which are the only 2 books that I have. I've got Mockingjay here, and I've got Hunger Games, but I don't have Catching Fire. But when I was looking at my shelves and I was looking at this book, I really started to think, this book really did make me think about government and censorship and just so many big major themes. It's very ironic. I don't know if you guys heard about what's going on in like North Korea right now, how it was like banned, and a lot of people were the Mockingjay, the symbol, like this, the symbol that they use in the book and the movie, were banned in North Korea, and people are starting riots and peace marches and things like that in Korea, and the government is basically like doing the same thing that the Capitol does in the Hunger Games in North Korea. And it's just so ironic that books that are about censorship are censored, and that's a major theme in our governments nowadays. And I'm rambling, but again, which I said I wouldn't do, but yes, this book made me think about censorship and government and big themes. And you know, I love this book so much because it's not a book that the younger generation will read and be disinterested in because of those themes, but they're still there and you can still appreciate them if you really think about what's going on in the book. But it can still be enjoyed as entertainment. Susan Collins did an amazing job with this book. And last but not least, another book that made me think was The Help by Catherine Stockett. I loved this book so much. And if you guys have no idea what this is about, it is basically about a journalist who writes about the perspective of African American maids in white households in Mississippi around the time of the Civil Rights Movement. And that right there just tells you exactly what it's about. Racism and segregation and things like that. It's just, a big theme in the movie and the book was, these African American maids were basically raising white children, and then those white children would grow up to treat those people who raised them in a horrible way. And it was a very good book, and again, it made me think about racism and segregation and things like that, and it really put in perspective what people who lived in the South went through at that time. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this Top 5 Wednesday. If you did, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Link your channel links, videos down below if you did one of these so I can watch it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!